you need inspiration, motivation, or hope? Do you let fear hold you back? Sometimes you feel lost or just stuck in your own thoughts, and you want a clear path to give you results. Then, my friend, you are in the right place. My name is Rachel Best, and I am your host of How to Make a Mark in the World, Finding Your Signature. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper because you're going to want to take notes.
Oh my goodness. Hello. We are here for another day on How to Make a Mark in the World. And today we have a beautiful guest, Tina. And I met Tina. Gosh, Tina, how long has it been since I met you?
I think it's going to be 2 years. Oh, it was 2 years. Yeah, 2 years in March. Last month.
Oh my gosh.
We were in Texas.
Has it really been that long? My
Yes.
goodness.
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
I've got the opportunity to meet Tina a couple years ago at a speaking event that we're both speakers and authors. And so we got the opportunity to meet. We've seen each other a couple times at that same event. I don't think we've seen each other at any other events yet. But Tina is such a beautiful person. She has such a fun spirit about her. She's inspiring. She's very educated in a lot of things, and I love talking to her. I love hearing her nuggets of wisdom. I've heard her speak a few times, and every time she shares something, I'm like, man, like, she's so smart. So I just get your pens and paper, and maybe even rewatch this again, because you're going to want to make sure you do take notes, because I'm sure Tina is going to definitely give us some nuggets to live life in. So Tina, go ahead and share with us who you are and how are you making your mark in the world.
Oh, well, thank you, Rachel. It's such an honor to be here. And I always love being around you because your energy is like so contagious, and what you're doing, your mark in the world that you're doing, I see you, and you're definitely making your mark. So for me, I'm Tina Kadish from Job to Joy. I'm a business coach and an author and speaker. And how did I get here? Well, I didn't just decide to be a coach until I was laid off from the corporate world. And so I'm all about helping women really connecting to their passions, finding their purpose. And I wasn't that person until I got laid off from the corporate world many years ago. And I started a journey of self-reflection and really trying to figure out, what did I want to do? I've been in training and development. That was my background. And I've been in talent acquisition. I've always been a worker in the 9-to-5, never an entrepreneur. And I would never have thought of being an entrepreneur. That was not something I ever thought. And you just never know what happens in our world, right? So when I got laid off is when I started to do some research, and I learned that over 85% of women are unhappy, they're unfulfilled with their careers, and they have no clarity, they have no direction, no focus. And so I started to really dig deeper into this, and I started networking, and I learned of a tool called the passion test. And I started my business helping women find their passions, and I got certified with this tool. So I embarked on this journey, and what I learned, I got that taste of freedom. That when I got laid off, I was like, wow, I could really see myself being an entrepreneur, helping women find their passions. However, started my business part-time, but then that little head trash, feeling I can't do this, I'm not good enough. I had fear. I went and found a job because that was comfortable. And I found a job as a talent acquisition specialist for 11 years, too long, while building my business part-time. But I built my business part-time, and I started really building my business, getting clients. And it was good because I got some great skills in addition to helping build my business, until I was so frustrated, and I was just stuck in that fear, which many of us may be there right now, that you're in that 9-to-5 and you might be in that fear. Well, I was building my business, and what happened? I was going to quit that job, but it was never the right time. I was always making excuses. So I don't know if any of your listeners can relate to this, but it was never the right time. But I was building my business, getting clients, and really and making money, but I never took that step. I never pulled the trigger until I got fired in 2018. got fired from this job that I was frustrated, hated it, because I believe in God. And I believe that God said, you know, Tina, you're not going to make this happen because you're making excuses. I'm going to take care of it for you. So I was like, whoa, this is awesome. I finally am living my dream, being free 100%. And so when I got laid off, I mean, not laid off, when I got fired, I decided to evolve into business coaching because a lot of women I was helping wanted to start a business and I couldn't help them. So I went and got business coaching experience. I worked with the coach because I always believe you got to work with coaches. And I started to really learn how to be a business coach. And I really love helping women today go from that unhappy, stuck, unfulfilled, miserable, I call it job trauma, to starting a business that will bring them that freedom, that joy and prosperity. I'm all about the joy. I've rebranded my business from Job to Joy 2 years ago because I really wanted to share that message that it can be done, but we just stay stuck in our mind. And you being, you know, a mindset expert, you can relate to this, I'm sure, Rachel, but that's really, until I got fired, I don't know if, I know I would have definitely been gone because a year after I got fired, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer. And I was able to be with her 100% of the time. And had I not been an entrepreneur, I would have to quit anyway, because they're not going to allow you to take the time to be with your family when they need you. So I believe that everything happens for us, although at times I might think it happened to me. And until I started to really, my faith is what has kept me going. And because when I got fired, I really was also like, wow, I can't believe they fired me. But I saw it coming and I believe I manifested it. I really do. I really do. And it was the best thing ever. So 6 years, it'll be this July.
Wow.
I am still free.
Wow. Wow. So do you think that you, like you said, you just manifested it and like, you think you like kind of like made them do that because you were, it was basically like they were holding your feet to the fire and like, okay, we're just going to push her out of the nest. Like there's no more, like fly, big bird, fly.
Exactly. And it was funny because I was there 11 years and because I voiced my opinion about a policy that I didn't agree with. That's why I got fired after 4 months. 4 months. Because they needed me. I was a recruiter. I was the best recruiter and that they ever had. And I was there 11 years, never been written up, never had any performance issues. But I got to tell you, Rachel, it was the best day of my life.
Yeah. You know, and I love how you said it happened for you because there is, I don't know if, have you ever read the book, 15 Commitments to Conscious Leadership?
No, I haven't. Oh,
that's a must read. I started reading, it's a very deep book. I've read it through it a few times. But when I was with my one company, we read that because we lead teams, right? And so, or lead people.
Right.
And in there, it talks about there's living above the line and living below the line, and life happening to you, like being the victim, or life happening for you, which is being the victor instead of the victim.
Exactly.
And so that book is really, really good book for anybody that's in a leadership position or an entrepreneur, because it really does help you go from, you know, like you just said, like instead of life happening to you, how is this happening for me? And I think that's such a vital piece, because I think so many people get stuck in that victim mentality instead of saying, okay, you know, in the moment, yeah, it might kind of stink, like it might be kind of rough, and you're like, oh, you know, you have that woe is me, you know, and it's okay to stay there for a second, right? But then we have to pull ourselves out of that. We have to get out of that and say, okay, like if we can shift the perspective on things, it's always, you know, like you know, if you see, I don't know if you've ever seen like the Target when it's like this, you
Yeah.
know, there's just the circles, but then when you turn it this way, it's like going down. So it's just shifting your perspective on things, because when we can shift our perspective on how is this happening for me? What can I take away from this to move me forward in life? So I really love that you say that, because I am such a huge advocate of, you know, don't get in the pit. You can get in the pit for a second if you'd like to, but you can't stay in the pit, right? So
No.
you got to get out.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You definitely have to. And, you know, in our life, we always have challenges. I mean, my biggest challenge was losing my daughter in 2020. But even at that moment, it was a pivotal moment where, okay, God, I said that day she passed away. What do I do now with my purpose? What is my purpose? What can I do today, moving forward, helping other moms and dads who have lost a child? And so I was at that moment of really shock and angry, and like, okay, but what do I do? Because I'm not going to stay stuck in this pity and victim. Yes, we have to feel our feelings
Right.
as we're going through. We have to process them, not mask them and
Right.
pretend everything is okay either. And so it's very important to process them. That's something that I've learned along the way, is that we have to feel the feelings, and it's okay to be vulnerable, to share your vulnerability. And it's not weakness. This is something I've learned also, that it's not weakness to be vulnerable. You know, it definitely isn't. So I love what you said, because we have to change our perspective and really say, okay, what can I do now? How can I make a difference?
Yeah.
You know,
How
and I'm all
can I?
about creating a legacy. Yeah, creating a legacy is really what my second book, I lost my daughter. I wrote my second book, and it was about that. How can we move forward and create that legacy for our loved ones, for ourselves? What are we doing today?
Right.
You know, you have this message. How are we making our mark? Well, my mark is, I want to help those women that are stuck. And that was me. Stuck and fear held me back. And it doesn't serve us, because life is too short. If you're not living your dream right now, then why not?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
So now, you know, now that you're in a different spot, now that you are a coach, and like, how do you have, maybe speak to that person that might want to quit their job, or maybe they're wanting to do something different, but they have that fear. Like, how do you walk through that now? And also, how do you walk your clients through that if they're fearful of quitting their job or starting something different? How do you walk through that, and how do you help your clients walk through that?
Okay, so how I walk through it is really, I do a lot of journaling. I'm a big proponent of writing things down and really understanding or writing down, okay, why am I feeling this fear? What is my fear right now? And
That's
this is
good.
how I walk my clients through. We do a fear exercise, and we identify any barrier. You know, my first book, Freedom, the 7 Steps, is all about overcoming those barriers to achieving success. And so I help them really understand their beliefs, what is holding them back, what is their fear, and let's create a plan. Like, okay, what are we going to do? What are you going to implement? What are some resources that I can help you overcome that? What is the fear that you have, and why are you feeling it? Because I really believe that it comes from something. Like, I just didn't feel valued, that what I was offering was going to be needed, important. And anybody here who wants to start a business, you don't just jump into a business and say, okay, today I'm going to start a business, I'm going to quit my job. No, I don't ever recommend anybody just quits their job unless it's for mental health reasons, it's really affecting your family, your health. Then yes, you will find a way. However, I believe I help you to create a plan. All right, let's create a plan. How are you going to take that exit? Make that exit. All
I like
right.
that.
Are you going to, like, I was going to quit, and I did create a plan of income. Like, I created an emergency fund. I cut out some of my debt. I prepared myself so that when I was going to leave, I was in a better position financially and mentally, because I was working on my own mindset. So I always believe in working with coaches. And, you know, yes, we can figure it all out, try to figure it all out on our own, but we're spinning our wheels and don't even know if we're doing it right.
Right.
So for you, for all of you listeners here, really find the right person to help you with what you need. Not just hire anybody, but just find someone. And if money is an issue, all right, this is where budgeting. What can you do to put away money for this resource? Because it's about planning. And, I'm a really believer in how bad do I want it? And visualize yourself. We also go through a visualization exercise. Where do you see yourself going? What do you desire? What is your why? Like, why do you want this? And what is your idea? But more importantly, it's why do you want this? What is that you desire? What excites you every day that will just move you towards that, instead of staying stuck in that place of victim and unhappiness. So I really help you to get clarity around your vision, your beliefs, your fears, and really create a plan around it. Like, okay, what are we going to do differently now? What is the plan of action? Creating a strategy is really what I believe, because nothing's going to get done if you don't take action.
Right.
And it could be one little thing of doing an exercise. What is my fear? Why do I feel this? Why do I have this fear? Let's identify it, and let's take action to overcome it.
Yeah.
And so I really surrounded myself with the right community. I've surrounded myself with the right people. And that's another thing I recommend everybody. Surround yourself with people that will be there to support you, because you can't do it alone. And that's what I did when I was really looking to build my business and, start my business, build my business, surrounding myself in a community of people that were in the same space as myself.
That's so good. That's so good. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is important, that we think our friends and family are going to be our biggest supporters, right?
No, they're not.
They think we're crazy. They think we're crazy. I know when I went to quit my full-time job at the salon, my dad is like, "Are you sure that's a good idea? I don't think that's a good idea. Are you sure that's a good idea?" Which God had told me to do it, so I listened to my Heavenly Father. But and I prayed about it and everything. But yeah, having that community of people to just surround yourself with those like-minded people that are just as crazy as we are, to think we can make a huge impact in the world and change the world, right? Like, as long as and when we connect with people that have big vision, like, it doesn't have to be exactly, but like, if the big vision is that we think we can change the world, like, our big vision is we want to bring something positive, a positive change, like you said, a legacy to the world, to your family. And so that's the main thing. As long as we all are, going in that type of direction, that community of having those people that are like-minded, that are just wanting to make an impact. And so there's something else you said too. I have a whole bunch of notes here, but I like that you say, for the coach, having a coach that you jive with, and that you have the same belief systems. And I would even like to kind of talk about that, because I know that having a coach that doesn't have the same belief systems as you, for me anyways, I actually ran into that. I had a coach that we didn't align with the same belief systems. Like, I'm very faith-based. I love God. I love Jesus. And I'm okay if somebody has a different opinion. I'm okay with that, because that's their walk. And also, I had to be cautious of, or I should say, I learned that I have to be cautious of who am I allowing to lead me and to speak into my life. Because if you don't have the same belief system, then I think it can get a little bit wonky. Do you have anything to say about that?
I have, because, my faith has grown in the past my faith was, even before I got fired from my job, I had faith, but my faith has strengthened in the past 6 years. It really has. And I've been attracting more faith-based individuals. And so I've had coaches where I've had to fire them, because I'm like, this is not working. You're not listening to me. You're not hearing what is my, like they had their own agenda and they were pushing you in their own direction where that's not where I see myself going. So I agree with you. You have to find someone that is aligned with what your beliefs are, what your ideas are, what do you desire, that's aligned with you, not what the world or other people are doing because it's a trend. No, it's what is right for you, because you will attract the right people. And this is something that I've learned, that I will attract the right people. And if somebody says no to me, it's okay. They're just not the right people for me.
Right.
And that just takes time. That takes progress. That takes growing in your entrepreneurial journey, because at first you want everybody to say yes. And then when somebody says no, like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Right? Immediately go to what's wrong with you. No, they were not aligned with you. They did not. And maybe timing, it could have been timing as well. Because I know for sure, because for me, I've said no to people because it wasn't the right time. I wasn't ready to make that decision. For me. So so I could definitely relate to that. Absolutely.
That's so good. That's good. That's good. And then you also said, what I like too is that, having somebody to bounce those ideas, because I know the other day I was actually it was funny. It was just a conversation. She wasn't my coaching client or anything, but like, it was just a conversation, and just having that person to bounce those ideas of like, what, just having somebody, because when we're a part of the picture, we can't see the frame, right? So if we have somebody else's eyes on what it is that we're trying to do, and you've been through it, you were through it, so you knew you can lead them through because you've been through it and you know how to do that.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. I really firmly believe that you have bouncing ideas from somebody that's in the business, but they're not your client. I mean, that's why it's so important to have people that you're not partnered with, but like a business colleague, like you and I, like we're business colleagues. We can bounce ideas off of each other, but it's creating that community of people that you're surrounding yourself with instead of isolating yourself. It's so important, because you can't, again, it goes back to, you can't do this alone. And it's great to get ideas and say, oh, wow, I didn't even think of that. That's a great idea. I think I will look into that. I think it's very powerful. Definitely.
Yeah. So share with us a little bit, like what else, like, that you do with your clients, like job to joy, quitting the 9 to 5, like share a little bit more in the last few minutes that we have together. Just share a little bit more about how you help your people, how you, what you do.
Okay. So I have several programs that I offer. I go with the woman that is right now stuck, unhappy. They have no clarity. So I have a get clear with your career process. And it goes into some of the steps that I talked about, your why, your vision. I help you with your mindset. That begins before into the business coaching, because my business coaching is all around creating that blueprint for your business. So anybody who's new may have just started their business, and they think they have a business just by getting a logo and a website, instead of knowing what their brand is. I help you to come in and create that blueprint, so that framework that you need. So I help you create that business. And we have, the program is a 3 months that I come from the barriers to creating that business. So it's really includes every piece that I talked about here, that really helps you to go from overcoming those barriers to starting a business. And I also offer a 90-day follow-up that I work with you to, let's make sure that these things that we set out that we're going to create are going to happen. So it's holding you accountable for the next 90 days after we've completed the business, the business coaching process. So that's how
awesome.
I work with my clients. So, but I have a community of women also. Every Tuesday night, we have the Inner Circle, which is, a community of women that are in this space and want to join. And every week we have business building topics with strategies and tools that you can implement with other benefits offered to this community as well, because these are all women that are in the same space, and they're all heart-centered, faith-based, women is
That's
that
awesome.
I've been attracting in this community. And it didn't start that way, but it seems like I've been attracting more of those type of women. And it's a community of women that, that are now, it's growing, and I'm very proud of it, because years ago I had nobody. And I don't want it to be big. I want it to be intimate, and because I also offer coaching support for them on a monthly basis.
That's
And
awesome.
so it is awesome. So I want to have I have my goal, and I'm close to that goal where I can have consistent, stable women that I'm working with throughout. So that's separate from my private coaching.
Nice. So you have your coaching, you have your inner circle membership. So if somebody wanted to dig in and learn a little bit more about that, what else are you working on, and what is to come in the next?
Yes,
oh my gosh, this is already the second quarter. Holy cow.
I know. So one of the things I'm very excited about is I'm going to be hosting my first virtual summit on the topic that we talked about today. It's called Beyond the 9 to 5, Navigating the Job Trauma to Entrepreneurial Freedom. And it's going to be on April 20th from 9 to 2. I've got 8 speakers, including myself, it's all for the audience are all women that are in this unhappy, unfulfilled. They're thinking about leaving their job. They're looking to start a business. And all these speakers have done it. They've left. They're successful now as an entrepreneur, and they're going to share their stories. And I have Nikki Cuesta, I have Desiree Cruz, I have Nikki Gangemi, I have myself, Lori Ingram, Deborah Edwards, and Elena Rodriguez, and as well. And everybody's going to be talking about, we're coming from self-care. We're going to be talking about the power of believing in yourself. I'm going to be talking about creating the exit plan. I'm going to be talking about the must-have essentials of a business blueprint. And it really talking about, we're going to have somebody talking about reclaiming your time. How do you get your time back, as an entrepreneur? And I'm excited for the speakers, and I am going to be hosting these every quarter.
That's awesome.
On this particular topic. Yeah, so I'm excited. It's going to be virtual on April 20th. So I would love to have people there that are in that space, that are on the fence. So they're brand new.
So how do they get the tickets for that event?
Yes, so they can go on my website. It's in my events calendar. They'll see it. The link will go directly to Eventbrite. They can sign up. It's only $47 that they get, and they will get all the speakers. Each speaker will have a gift, and that they will share, and also replays will be available as well for them. And they're going to walk away with practical, actionable steps.
Awesome. Well, I definitely need to get mine. Because
get yours, Rachel.
The people, I know a few of those people. I know about half of the people that are going to be on there, and they're definitely going to give way more value than $47. So $47.49.
$47.
Okay.
Yeah.
So $47. I'm definitely going to have to go to your link and get my ticket, because I put it on my calendar, because I know that between you and Nikki and Elena, and I feel like there was another person you said.
Desiree Cruz.
Yes, Desiree. Yes. Those 4 ladies right there are going to give so much value. So you must not miss this. You must go get a ticket. So
yes,
I'm excited for you. Yeah, I'm excited
too. I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'm excited for it, because I really want to impact the women that are going to come and walk away with, that belief that they can do it, but practical, actionable steps that they can implement.
That's good. That's what we need, is practical, simple, and something that we can implement. Not just tell us, all this stuff, but give us something tangible that we can do to move forward. And and those, like I said, just 4 of you that I know are definitely killing it in a lot of areas. So you ladies are definitely going to give lots of good nuggets. I'm going to have to bring a fresh notebook, but
thank you, Rachel.
Yes, thank you so much for the 30 minutes. Always goes so fast. Like, I can't believe it's already like 30 minutes have almost gone by already. But what is there any last closing things that you would like to, a statement or a scripture or a quote that, you know, or just something to speak into the audience, one little last piece of your nuggets?
Well, for me, I'm going to say I'm going to be a scripture. With God, all things are possible.
Mm.
And I think that if we continue to say that, with God, all things are possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible. And let's stop settling and you know, just do it. Just take action and do something that will move the needle closer to what you desire, because God wants us to be abundant, have abundance. He doesn't want us to be, you know, have that scarcity. He wants us to go out there and create that legacy and do good things and serve others. That's my belief. That's really what I love.
Yeah, that's a good, that is a good note to hop off of here on. I definitely agree and 100% believe that too. So, thank you so much again for your time. You have been amazing. If you missed any of this, go back and rewind it, because Tina shared a lot of good nuggets of information and just shared a little bit of her story that's super inspiring. So, all right, until next time, we will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is your host, Rachel Best, and I hope you loved the show. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, as well as share with a friend. If you would like, you can follow me on Instagram as well as Facebook under Rachel Best. You can also find me on my website at Rachel